Welcome back, everyone. Today I want to do a movie review on a 2009 biopic, Notorious. However, I'm doing things a little different. Like with my Straight Outta Compton video, I'm not going to go through scene by scene and explaining the movie. Instead, I'm going to go through what they got right and what they got wrong. So without further ado, here is Notorious, Fact or Fiction. Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Big's childhood. True. Big grew up as a stoop kid and was never allowed to leave the stoop in Bed-Stuy. His dad was never part of his life, and he had a radio his mom bought him. They briefly highlight how well he did in school too, and they even got how he got involved in the crack game. Valletta's discovering Big's drug dealing. False to that point. In this scene, Big is getting scolded by his mother on how he's been missing school. She then mentions that she threw away some good work she mistook for mashed potatoes.
Cleaning up old plates of mashed potatoes you leave under your bed. What? You can't take care of yourself. How are you gonna take care of me?
Where's the plate?
I threw it in the trash. It was disgusting.
Eventually, she kicks him out. And here's the thing. Valletta only found out about Chris's drug dealing through a later arrest when he broke crack commandment number 8. She found out more details in his Ready to Die album. But back to his commandments. Did you know that even though Valletta never found out about his crack dealings, Chris broke crack commandment rule number 5 and sold on the doorstep of his mother's home. After his incarceration, Valletta took out a life insurance policy on him, fearing that he may wind up dead if he kept on with his activities. How Puff discovered Big. Kinda false. Big is recording a demo tape and it lands into the hands of Sean Puff Daddy Combs, aka the Baby Oil Messiah, and the man who's
all in the video, all on the record, dancing.
Big meets with the flashy producer and invites him to leave the streets life behind and chase the dream of becoming one of the greatest. But in reality, Puff found out about Big through the Source unsigned hype column, not through a straight up demo tape. But what was true was Puff was going to take Big under his wing at Uptown. That was until Puffy got fired from said company. And when he announced this, Big goes back to drug dealing. D-Rock taking the gun charge. True. And this leads us to the police chase with D-Rock and Big. One of the men was going to take the gun charge. D-Rock knew that Big had priors, and if he doesn't snitch, he could get about 5 or 6 years. But D-Rock only had much, so he takes 3 years and a day, so Big can flourish in the rap game. This is all true, and it was his plan, regardless if Big was going to make it in the game or not.
I did it regardless if Big was trying to be a fireman or a school teacher. It wasn't even about the music while I took the charge. Like, it was my friend. Like, you know what I mean? So I'd have did that regardless. That's just the type of person I am. If I'm with you, I'm with you. So, and then on top of that, I mean, I was out on bail for a gun charge already. So, you know, it kind of made sense. And then he had just kind of like really got connected into things, about to do a deal, and you know what I mean? So
it wasn't it wasn't a tough decision in your mind.
Nah, I was just like, yo, and actually, it wasn't like he was like, go, 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 yeah, do it. He was like, nah. Actually, it helped me, believe it or not. It saved me, because I was loose cannon, you know what I mean? Doing like, you know, on the road to destruction. So I was just like, yo, just do what you gotta do. And no, they didn't take us to no precinct. Police figured it out right there in the streets. They handcuffed us, said, I'm gonna give y'all a minute, you know what I mean? And then I was just like, hey, yo, and that was it. Like, that was like the last time I seen him until I got out.
Yeah.
How Juicy was created. True. Big want Machine Gun Funk to be his first single, and that is until Puff played M2May's Juicy Fruit, stating that while the street stuff is good, he needs something for radio play. And this is mostly true because Puff relied on samples to gain urban radio. But what was also true was that Big was an off-the-dome rapper. He rarely wrote his lyrics on paper. Regardless, Juicy and Ready to Die are classics. How Faith quickly married Big. True with context. I'm gonna try to be brief with this one because I talked about this on my Faith Evans video I did a while back. Sources dispute how long it took for Big to meet with Faith Evans. My video said 2 weeks, others says 3 weeks, others says 2 months. Whatever the case was, it was a quick turnaround. And while we're on the topic of Faith, the scene where she's piecing up a groupie was absolutely true. Again, already mentioned this in the Faith video, but it didn't happen in Philly. You know, because she had cases in Virginia, bodies in DC. November 30th, 1994. True. At Quad Studio, Cease yells down for Pac to come to the 10th floor. Then Pac gets shot 5 times in the lobby by some men he knew. Pac initially blames Big and Puff for setting him up, and everything here is true and disputed to an extent. Puff then blames Pac's SA charge on his accusation, but this was gasoline for the East Coast West Coast feud, and Suge provided the flame at the Source Awards where he called out Puff saying he's, again,
all in the video, all on the record, dancing.
Another scene that was also true was the volatile argument between Faith and Big while she was having an interview. Puff not wanting Big to perform Who Shot Ya? Absolutely false. Big is in the West Coast performing Gimme the Loot, but the crowd are receiving the performance negatively. Big orders DJ Enough to switch to Who Shot Ya? But Puff was reluctant to do that as he was above that. But it was Puff that was the one that put the single out. Him being fearful about Who Shot Ya was total BS. In fact, they should have never put out the single to begin with. And had they done that, Big might still be here on this earth. Sure, Big and Puff claimed 100 times that the song was done before November 30th, but why add speculation? Doesn't make sense, Puff. Death threats. True, even outside the West. Throughout his trip to LA, Big was getting many calls for his life, but in reality, yes, he got threats for being out in the West, but whenever you're a celebrity in general, you're going to receive death threats anyway. Big said it in one of his songs. But one thing I will mention was the London trip he was supposed to go on. He mentioned this with his phone call with Faith.
To the party?
Yeah, we on our way over there right now. I thought you were going to London.
I was, but I gotta stay here and promote the album.
Might as well talk about the Vibe magazine party here too. But y'all know there was an after party that got shut down due to the fire marshal, and we all know after the party, Big gets shot and dies. Now there's many conspiracy theories involving he and Pac's death, but since that's a rabbit hole in itself, I will not get into that. Just know that even though Big died at the young age of 24, he still had a lot to give to the world. Now for the next portion of this video, time to talk about what Notorious left off. Honestly, they didn't leave a whole lot out in this movie. Big's iconic videos. Big has some of the most iconic videos in hip hop like Juicy, Big Papa, and One More Chance, and the movie chose to recreate none of them. I wish they would have shown some of those videos. In fact, one of the biggest criticisms I had with this movie was that it spent way too much time with the relationship with he and Tupac and the whole East Coast West Coast rivalry. You know, Big had a career outside of that rivalry. Charlie Baltimore. Big had a third fling and it was with rapper Charlie Baltimore. You only see her once in this film, and that was the van scene where she, Big, and Cease got into an accident. Charlie and Big had a large fling, and just like with Kim, it was volatile. There was the one time they got into a fight and she threw a ring or watch outside of a window that was never recovered. They undermined Charlie's presence in this movie, and it could have shown a lot more. Other arrests. Even when he was famous, Big still got caught up with the law. In 1996, he was arrested for second-degree harassment and threatening 2 fans for asking autographs. Then, he and Cease caught a marijuana charge, which caused Big's car to get repoed, renting a faulty van, which caused the accident. I guess the movie wanted to show Big was evolving as a man and not highlight some of his blemishes. Other Los Angeles activities. I do agree with someone said him going to LA so soon after Pac's death to kill tension was stupid. Regardless, Big was doing a ton of promo outside of the Soul Train Awards. He did an interview with Sway, he shot the video for Hypnotize, again, not creating an iconic video. Recorded his verse on the song Victory, which is one of his best verses he's ever laid down, and he did an interview on the BET show Rap City. And that ends another edition of Fact or Fiction. Once you overlook the inconsistencies and inaccuracies, this is a pretty good biopic. Highly recommend to those who haven't seen it, as a Tubi Hall of Famer provided an excellent performance. The movie itself might be on Tubi as I speak. But anyway, tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.